Orleans Pelicans. I literally always commented this without opening the Google Docs I have. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, hold up. The Orleans Pelicans, I have them being the 9th seed, going 38-44. Yeah. So really, Zion. Just Zion, you know? He's Zion. I really don't know what else to say about Zion, man. Like, let me start with saying this time now. They made a few changes in this offseason, so let me just start from the top. This time that's probably going to be something like Devonte Graham, maybe Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Josh Hart, one of the two. Then Brandan at the 3, Zion at the 4, even though I've heard he'll be injured at the beginning of the year. Eventually they'll have Zion at the 4, and Jonas Valanciunas at the 5. They made a few interesting moves this year. So one of them was, let me start with just talking about Zion actually. Pictures have come out with Zion, a comparison between him in 2019 and him in 2021, and it's a pretty big difference. He's definitely put on a bit of weight since his rookie year, so at the end of the day, he still is a dominant force. Maybe it just means he's going to be more dominant in the post, but maybe it means more injuries for him. That could be another factor that goes into this, because he has already had a lot of injuries over his short career, but he could, with him gaining weight, he could get more injuries, and maybe that affects his playing time, maybe that affects his play in general. Who knows what's gonna happen? I just don't want Zion to become a bust. Zion, just don't become overweight. Don't because he was one of the most efficient scorers last year. 27 points on like 50-60% shooting, I think it was. I don't even know what it was, but I do know he was really efficient last year when it came to scoring. So if he can continue that while still being the weight he is, then I guess that's good. Maybe he's kind of like how Shaq was, where Shaq, even though he was really big, he was just dominant and it worked. Maybe he could do something like that. Or maybe if he takes his health more seriously, he becomes even better than he is now, because he's already averaging 27 points a game in his second year. So if he becomes better than he is now, then that's really scary for the league. But yeah, honestly, I'm just hoping that Zion doesn't become a bust. As long as Zion doesn't become a bust, I'm good. Then there's the topic of Brandan Ingram. Great scorer, decent playmaker. We haven't seen, this team could be better, because Zion and Ingram on the same team sounds amazing, but they didn't make the playoffs yet. While the Grizzlies with John, Jaren, and Dylan Brooks and the rest of their team, and Valanciunas too, who they traded for, they made the playoffs, and they were the 8th seed, and they took a game from the Jazz, from the 1st seed. So that's a W season for them. For the Pelicans so far, Zion in his career, he hasn't really done much. With Ja making the playoffs, Zion is still stuck in he didn't even make the play-in, I think. Yeah, he did not even make the play-in. He was like the 11th or 12th seed this year. So I think this will be a year of improvement for the Pelicans. Yes, they lost Lonzo. Yes, they lost technically Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams. But Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams weren't really doing great on the team. And they got back Valanciunas, who's a bit more of a floor spacer than Steven Adams. And when it comes to Zion, they can have point Zion. Because if you look at this team, there's really not a true playmaker that's not named Kira Lewis. And Kira Lewis is still really young and really inexperienced. There's Tomas Satoransky who comes off the bench, and that's decent, but Zion might have to do a bit of the playmaking. Devonte Graham's not much of a playmaker, but Brandan Ingram might have to do some of the playmaking. Some guys might have to do more this year, but I think as a team it'll be worth it for them. I'm trying to think of the main topic that would be for this video. They made a lot of changes the offseason. One of the obvious ones being losing Lonzo Ball. They ended up replacing him with Devonte Graham, and we're gonna see how that works out. And as there's an injury on the court for 2K. Anyways, Devonte Graham he's more of a catch and shoot guy though. He's more of a shooting guard than an actual true point guard, in my opinion. So I could see him I could see Zion going to the paint and having the other 4 players out on the perimeter. Josh Hart's a shooter, Brandan Ingram's a shooter, Devonte Graham a shooter, and Valanciunas can shoot the ball. He's not a shooter, but he can shoot the ball. So I think Valanciunas would be in the mid-range area. Zion would be down the post, works there down low, draws in the defense, kicks it out, and easy shots, easy points. That's the type of offense I would want the Pelicans to be running. But for the beginning of the season, when Zion isn't there, I don't know who's gonna be really starting at the power forward position, because you could have Jackson Hayes there, but I don't know if you really want Jackson Hayes starting at your power forward position. He's more of a center. So at the end of the day, when Zion comes back, that's when they're actually gonna be really good. That's when they're actually gonna be serious about it. This team's gonna be kind of fun to watch though. They're not gonna be as fun to watch as the Bulls because Lonzo's not there anymore, but they're still gonna be a fun young team to watch because Zion's there, Ingram's there. It's weird though that Ingram's going into his 5th year in the league, or 6th year in the league. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 6th year in the league, and that's really weird to think about. But and Devin Booker in his 7th year. Yeah, that's really weird to think about because I remember those guys getting drafted. But Ingram is going to be there. I think Ingram can have an all-star type year this year. Hopefully, especially with Zion out at the beginning of the year. Maybe he has a better year like he did 2 years ago. Then maybe Zion also has an all-star year and maybe they make the playoffs, or at least the play-in. They can definitely make the play-in. That's why I have the 9 seed. 9 seed is really realistic for them. This is where I want them to be. This is one of the teams that I'm rooting for. I'm not 100% a fan of them, but I'm rooting for them because I want Zion to do well. I want Ingram to do well. It's there's nobody who you'd really hate on this team. And also Valanciunas is a former Raptor, so you already know I'm going to be cheering for him. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, share, comment down below your tips, tricks, or ideas you have to this channel, or you have tips, tricks, or topics you have me to talk about. I've been saying ideas the past few times, but really I'm supposed to say topics. But anyways, that'll be me today. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.